time to go back to school with TSN 690's Mo Khan and the College Sports Roundup.
Hey, Mo, how's it going?
I am well. Yourself, Matthew?
I'm very well. Very well, thanks. How you feeling? I know you had a bout of something last week.
Well, better than last week, and unfortunately our curling team lost because of Jason Dewey's performance on Thursday.
Whoa.
Yes, we had a TSN 690 curling outing on Thursday night at the Royal Montreal Curling Club on Maisonneuve, and it was a lot of fun. Mo, the only one on the ice with fluorescent colored shoes. I thought that was a little distracting. But no, it was not a... Matt Wood, the assistant programming director for 690 and CJ80, was the star of the show, just shot after shot. And we came to find out that he had taken a couple of John Abbott College curling classes.
And excelled and destroyed us on the ice.
Destroyed. Absolutely destroyed us, yes. And my psyche destroyed as well. Our skip, Sean Campbell, yelling and terrorizing us the entire night.
Now I know how PK Subban felt.
All right, Mo. It's kind of a slow period, right, in college sports right now?
Yeah, with the semester coming to the end for all Canadian universities the last week or so, we're down to only men's and women's hockey this past weekend here. Some great action that occurred over the weekend for men's and women's hockey right now. Let's talk about the OUA East Division, which has McGill and Concordia in particular in that division. Right now, Matt, when you look at it, there's 5 teams. There's Queens, McGill, UOIT, UQTR, and Concordia. They're separated right now by 5 points as we speak for first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And for McGill in particular, they lost a tough one to the best team in the CIS and Ryerson University, 2-1 on Friday night in overtime. 1-0, in overtime on Friday night, in which it was a thriller going back to back here. But then last night, McGill came through defeating U of T 7-1, and to put themselves back in second place for the moment right now, 1 point behind Queens, who they'll face next January. That is for what could be very well first place and home ice throughout the playoffs.
All right. Just wanted to get your quick thoughts on the season that was in college football. We had yesterday on the program from the Laval Rouge-Or, Anthony Auclair, who will be an NFL prospect. He's already spoken to a bunch of NFL teams. He'll play in that East-West Shrine Bowl in Florida in January. Wanted to get your thoughts on the season that was because they were a young team and ended up winning it all this year. Where did you have them coming into the year, and how did you see the whole season?
Well, I think from start to finish, I thought Laval was going to be one of the favorites to win the Vanier Cup. Obviously, when they defeated Montreal a few weeks ago, I think that was the biggest obstacle for them up until they got to the Vanier where they played Calgary. And by the way, Calgary gave them a pretty good run for the money, in which they held the lead for the bulk of the game. I thought for the Vanier Cup, how it played out, it was a great game for a partisan who was just a fan of the game itself. I thought Laval came out in the second half and played much better than what they were in the first half, in which they were down. But the biggest thing for them was for Hugo Richard, the quarterback of Laval. Had he gone through this season with that Vanier Cup to his name, it would have been a huge pressure on him going to the fourth year of his career. But I think for Anthony Auclair and what he'll be as a professional athlete, there's no question in my mind he will be down in NFL training camp come next July. The question is, will he stick? We'll see. But he's got great size, great hands, and a great football IQ.
Yep.
3 tangibles that teams look for in a football player of his ilk. And as the NFL has done now, much better, Matt, they have done a better job scouting players north and south of the border, internationally speaking here, to bring to the NFL camps.
Yeah, he mentioned the Chiefs liked him. 6'5", 254 pounds is what he's listed at, which is just incredible in terms of the size. His favorite tight end, Travis Kelce. Right now, he also likes Zach Ertz because he's an Eagles fan. If you want to hear that audio or that interview, by the way, folks out there, you can go to tsn.ca/Montreal and click on audio. It's actually posted right up there. So it was a fun interview yesterday. Mo, before we let you go, NFL Day, we know you're a big football guy in general. I need some help, Mo, on my fantasy team. Dave Trentadue trying to help me out here. So here's the deal. I need to win in my fantasy this week to get into my playoffs. I got a huge decision here. It's a regular PPR kind of fantasy football league, and I'm debating between these 3 guys. I need to bench one of them. All right, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Demaryius Thomas, but he's got Paxton Lynch throwing instead of Simeon today for the Broncos. Jeremy Hill of the Cincinnati Bengals, no Giovanni Bernard, so he's the main guy in the backfield. Or Tyreek Hill, who had a big day last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you bench?
A good question. I think for Tyreek Hill, he is the hot hand coming to this weekend's games. I think for the Bengals,
even with Jeremy Maclin possibly returning?
Well, the thing is, right, Mac comes back, how many reps will he play? That's the reason why I say he's a hot hand as we speak in this game here. But the thing with Gio Bernard, though, is that how many, or for the Bengals itself, how many touches will he give to the run game in general, given that they need to pass that football here, but we don't know what they're going to do because, again, the pass and run game has been anemic for the Bengals at times. I think Tyreek Hill might be the best play, given that the scenario that he's in, he may get the most targets going towards his direction in 3 phases of the football game.
Yeah, okay, but I need to bench one of them. So if you want me to start Tyreek Hill, who do I bench? Jeremy Hill or Demaryius Thomas?
I would probably bench Jeremy Hill going to this game here because, again, for the Bengals, we don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to be a pass team first or a run team. And for the fact that Jeremy Hill, who's played okay this year, not that great, I think you would stay away from that scenario and allow yourself to go with Tyreek Hill and Demaryius Thomas, 2 weapons that could be the number one choices for Paxton Lynch and for Alex Smith.
All right, fair enough. Trent Stewart, you have any questions for Mo?
Yeah, I just want to know your thoughts on the Ravens and Dolphins today.
I think this will come down to day for this matchup for Miami is can they play good defense like they've done so far this season? I think for Ryan Tannehill, his first 5 weeks of the year, he threw 4 INT. Since then, only 1 INT. He's got to protect that football very well. I think for Baltimore, though, the biggest thing for them is their defense. They can play well, but can their offense match that output? Because right now, Dave, when you look at the Baltimore offense, they've been very inconsistent running and passing the football. So it comes down to Ryan Tannehill and what he does with the football in his hands today.
All right, MoCon19 if you want to follow him on Twitter. Thanks so much, Mo.
Always, my man. And then that's it for CIS Sports until next January, 2017, that is. The first games will be January 4th with men's and women's basketball on that Wednesday night.
All right, thanks a lot, Mo.
Take care, guys. Have a great day.